Hey everyone, welcome to this month's vlog. We have started off just a little bit differently. I have been trying to give myself a little bit more me time. It's something that I preach within my own business and very often don't do it myself, but I have decided over the last few weeks that I really do need to start giving myself a little bit of me time. So generally I have Monday, Tuesdays off from the shop. So the shop is closed on those days. But then when I'm at home, I'm either out in the studio shed making things like shower fizzes, shampoos, or I'm taking photos, or I'm downstairs in my office editing those photos, editing videos, doing all my social media posts, Patreon, and everything else. And then I end up spending those 2 days actually just working on my business and not giving myself any downtime apart from at night time when I might sit with hubby and watch a bit of telly. But I've decided this is just not healthy. I need to start giving myself a little bit of extra time. And what I've started to do, and it's been easy at this time of year, it's probably not going to be so easy in winter. What I've been doing is that because I'm up really, really early in the morning in summer, my body clock basically goes with the sun. So as soon as the sun comes up, I'm awake, and when it goes down, I'm generally in bed. So the sun comes up about this time of year, about 5 o'clock in the morning, and the birds are all singing at 4:30. The sun's up by 5, and then generally I'm up out of bed between 5 and 5:30, and I will go for a walk or something like that. And then I've been coming back home, I've been eating my breakfast, have a cup of coffee, and then for about an hour and a half before I'm due to go into the shop, I sit on the computer downstairs, and I've been doing some of the work that I usually do on my days off, and I've been trying to get myself ahead of doing work that way. And then I head off to the shop and come home, and I have the evenings off. And what I've been trying to do is on the Monday, Tuesday, on Monday I will finish off any of that admin work that I've not been able to do in the early mornings, and then that gives me Tuesday to do what I want to do. And so far it's been working. When it comes to winter, I'm not going to be sure if it will work so well because the sun comes up so much later, and so I get up much later in winter, but we'll see how it goes. If we can get some good habits in now, it may actually work. So that's what I've been doing lately. So today is Tuesday, and I woke up, I had to go and get my IPL done for my Hertz-Rhythm. So I went into town and I got that done. And then on my way home, I did actually do one business thing today. I stopped off at Bunnings and I grabbed some pine board while I was in there. I'm about to redo my lip balm display, hopefully this week, and I'll get to show you what I'm doing. But I needed a new display for it so that I could make the most of the space that I've got, which involved going to get some of these pine board strips and making some little mini risers. You know, you have one and then the next and then the next. So I stopped off at Bunnings to get that wood, and then I set about this morning making these little risers. They took me probably about an hour to make. So I did those, popped them in the car. And then I came in, had a bit of lunch and read my book. And then I decided to go and do something that we've not been able to do for a long time. And we are now sadly in that position where we can actually do it. So I decided I needed to get into our front garden because it looks like nobody cares about our front garden. My big, beautiful lavender bushes out the front. I've actually lost one of the bushes. It was completely rotted out. So it just basically came out the ground as soon as I touched the base of it. It just disintegrated. So I pulled that out, trimmed back all the rest of my lavender, and I gave it a really good hard trim. I didn't do it last year and it was looking really, really leggy, and I thought if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose it. So I started to give my lavender, there's only 3 out of the 5 bushes actually left now, so I gave them a really good haircut, like trimmed it right back, but you can see all this new growth around the bottom of it. So I know they're going to come back, and next year we should have a really good harvest of lavender out of it. So I got on to doing that. And then I looked at my little mini grevillea, which actually looked more like a grass bush than it did like a mini grevillea. It was just so compact, full of grass. So I sat down and I started pulling all the grass out of this plant. And then I decided to move on to the last garden bed, which is the one that you actually saw me gardening. I was sitting there, I thought, you know what, I think it's about time I actually did the vlog. So I ran inside, grabbed the camera and just started filming. So I have actually got all of that garden bed done. I had put in this ground cover in there to try and stop the weeds that were coming up, but it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. The weeds just come up where the ground cover hasn't quite reached, but this ground cover has actually started to grow in like my beautiful proteas. That was the orange flower that I've put into the vase. They're an Australian native, and this ground cover has just gone all through this bush that it just looked like it was strangling it. So I've pulled most of this ground cover out. I've left the main part of the ground cover still in there, so I know it will all shoot back out again. But I did basically go through and rip everything out and got these garden beds looking like someone actually cares about our garden. So the reason the garden has been neglected for so long out the front there is because neither hubby or I could ever get out the front there to actually do the weeding. Because here in the Redlands where we are, there is a bylaw that says any dog that is outside of its backyard property must be on a leash. And it's pretty hard to do gardening when you've got a dog on a leash. Lucy didn't like being left behind, sitting behind a fence. She'd generally sit in the sun and just cry until we gave up and came inside to her. But unfortunately, for those that missed my written post about why there was no vlog last month, we no longer have Lucy. She passed away about 3 weeks ago. I'm going to try and do this without crying because this is probably about the 4th or 5th time I've tried to do this, and I burst into tears every time. About 3 weeks ago we actually did lose Lucy. It was quite sudden, unexpected, but also expected. We'd actually found out the week before that she potentially had nasal tumours. It's something that something had happened 3 weeks before. It got misdiagnosed, and then 3 weeks later it came back that it was possibly nasal tumours, and we were sent home with palliative care for 2 weeks, which told us a lot. So from that point on, I spoiled her. She was a spoiled dog, but I spoiled her. She had bones with every dinner. She had treats after dinner. She had walks whenever she wanted them. She got whatever she wanted. If she wanted to bark at the mailman, you bark at the mailman, girl. You know, she got everything that she wanted, and 6 days later we lost her. So even though we'd had that week's notice, it was still just so completely unexpected. No sort of time to process it or anything like that. I just made sure that I gave her the best damn life that she had in that last week. But because I don't want to try and refilm this again, I'm going to move on. But now that we don't have Lucy around, I decided that I was just going to go and sit out in the garden and do the gardening. It has meant I've been able to do a lot of little things like that around the house that we've not been able to do because Lucy didn't like me leaving her. She was fine for me to go out to the shops and to go to work and everything like that. But if we were at home and she knew that there was a barrier, whether it be a door or a fence between her and me, she was okay with hubby, but with me, if there was a barrier between us, she was not happy. And she kind of got really anxious. So it did make some little things that I've been wanting to do for ages a little bit harder. So over the last few weeks I have been able to do a lot more of those little tasks, like getting out into the garden to do the gardening. So today I decided just to go and sit out there and do the gardening. While I was doing it, the gutter cleaner turned up and he's actually cleaned all our gutters for us. It is fire season. We knew we had a lot of leaves, so we got him out to clean that. Had a bit of a chat with him, and then I decided I'd finished doing everything I was doing, came in, I thought we'll have a shower, and here we are. So you can see it's getting dark out the back. What I wanted to do before we got down the shop, I've actually been collecting this. I wanted to share two of these things with you last month, but as you can probably understand, the week we lost Lucy was the week that I would have normally have done the vlog. I was actually going to do it the week before, but that was when we ended up with her at a specialist, and I was so focused on Lucy, making sure that she had everything she wanted in that last week, that I basically thought, no, this isn't the week to do the filming. And then the next week we lost her, and I just thought there's no point me filming because she's just going to see me sitting in tears all day, every day. I can tell you that my world basically did stop. I bonded to Lucy stronger than I've bonded to any other animal. We've got lots of great memories, which is what I'm hanging on to, but I bonded to her so strongly, stronger than any other pet we've ever had. And I don't know why. It was just from the moment, and hubby has said that, is from the moment I saw her, that was it. There was this connection, and he said he knew the moment I picked her up at this adoption day that we were not leaving without this dog. It was to the point, he said, I was so restrained when this little girl came up to me and I'm holding on to Lucy. And she said to me, can I hold her? I said, no, she's mine. This poor little girl. Oh no, she's mine. So there's another one down there and pointed to her brother. So Matt said from the day we had her, he knew that there was a pretty strong bond between the two of us. So that I didn't get to actually film that week as well. There was just no point, and it's only just been now that I think that I can probably get through the week. That first week, my world just stopped. I turned up to the shop, I served customers that came in, I packaged orders, and I did nothing else. I just sat in the shop. I didn't pack, I didn't make anything, I didn't do the Christmas stuff, and all this stuff was just building up around me to the point that people were walking in probably thinking, oh my god, what is this place? It was just so messy, and I'm only just starting to catch back up to myself, started to kind of get it back into a cleaner state, but I am so behind that this week we have got a lot of stuff to make. But before we do that, I sidetracked there. Last month I did have a couple of things that I wanted to share with you, and I've got one other thing here that I was going to share for this month's vlog. The first thing I wanted to share with you is, look, I have got my brand new planner in from off of Wickedly Goods. Oh, we've got my little stickers here. I absolutely love these planners that Lee does. I did showcase the one that I had last year, and it's actually in my bag downstairs. I have used it every single day. It is one of the best well laid out planners, which makes me actually want to use it. So I decided that, well, I've actually been harassing Lee for most of this year, going, when are you bringing out the 2024 planners? And as soon as she released them, I headed on over, and she's made some awesome changes to them as well, which I'm really looking forward to doing. She did a little bit of a different layout, but then she's also done these mood colouring in pages, which I'm really keen to have a go at. Each one's different. So this one I've opened up, this is March, and they're all like little feathers. And the idea is, down the bottom, you've got all your moods, so relaxed, tired, grumpy, sick, all those. You allocate a colour to each of those moods. And then each of these feathers, you would actually colour, so you come up to your first and you colour it in for whatever mood you're in. And, you know, you basically fill them in like that. There's a couple of other really good ones in here as well, which I'm really keen to see how they come out. I don't think I can find it. Oh, look at this one. This one's fun. Let's have a look at some donuts. So we'll see what sort of donuts we get for the week. She's also put in things like sleep trackers. She's also put in a period tracker as well. I've never really used those, but until recently, and that is because with now that I've finally got my medication all sorted with my PCOS, my hormones and everything have kind of worked their way into being level, and now I can use these sort of trackers. So that's going to be really interesting to see how much the medication I'm on has really affected things like my mood, my period, and all of that sort of thing. So I absolutely love this. And of course I had to be a pain in the bum, didn't I, Lee? So she's got some absolutely beautiful designs. This is the sunset design that she had, and I went on and I ordered it, and then I sent her a message and said, next year, do you think you can actually do some sunflowers? Which I got a very appropriate response to, or along the lines of, why didn't you say something earlier? And then she said she could actually do me a custom cover on there as well. There is an option to do your custom covers. So she did me a custom of the sunflower, but still used the sunset internal because it's just too much work to redo the whole thing. But I think it just absolutely goes perfectly with the cover. And she's done, again, an amazing job. She's got a really nice clear binder on it this year, a really nice clear spiral bind that doesn't have a join in it, so it does make it really easy to actually use this one. Go and check out these planners. They are absolutely amazing, and for someone who up until recently hated using planners, I can't recommend them enough. Like, I've never been good at using planners, but this one is just so well laid out. It is easy to use and makes you want to use it. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. The next thing I wanted to share is I put in an order. I've ended up opening them because I didn't do the vlog. So I ended up opening them so I could actually use some of the stuff. But I don't know if we can actually see it, but I put in an order with Nelson Soapery. This is from Rhonda, who also runs the soaping and candle making conference, and then she does Nelson's Soapery. Love the tissue paper. It's all custom designed, and I have used some of the stuff. I really wanted to try some of her scents because they just all sound so amazing. I've currently got this one in the burner. This is apricot tea. Love the size of these melt packs as well. They're absolutely awesome. And this one just smells, it smells so good. It is a sweet one, but it's not, it's still got that sort of bergamot sort of scent in it, so it's not overly sweet. Really, really nice. I have also ordered from her, I love these little sample tins. I really wanted to try the peach patchouli because I like peach, I like patchouli, but you have to have the right patchouli to go with it. So I thought I'll just order myself one of her little mini sample candles, and then if I do like it, I can always go back and order one of her bigger ones. She does these awesome concrete jars with her logo and everything on, but I just wanted to make sure I liked the scent first. I also ordered a couple of soap bars from her. We've got, this one is Egyptian Bees, and I love how she wraps them. They remind me, this sounds really bad, they remind me of grandma soap. You know, back in the day when grandma always used to have a bar of soap wrapped in paper. To me, that's a good thing. It's good memories. So I absolutely love how she wraps them up. But I haven't unwrapped any of them yet because I did want to actually share with them on here. But really, really like this. Let's get it open. So that is, oh, smells really, actually doesn't smell as I thought. I was expecting it to be like an oatmeal milk and honey, but oh, it smells beautiful. It's got a slight floral in it. It's really, really nice. Nice and clean and fresh as well. So really, really like that. And then I also got this Birchmont mint as well, because I do like a minty soap. They usually feel nice and fresh and clean. This is just, there's some nice glitter on this. They usually feel nice and fresh and clean on the skin. So I do like me a little bit of mint soap. Oh, and it does, it smells, let's do it with her logo on the front. So that is the Birchmont mint. And then the other thing I actually ordered are some of her shower fizzes. I've been watching her posts with the new packaging that she's got and just absolutely love it. So I thought I would get them in to have a look, have a go at them as well. I love using other people's shower fizzes too. I do actually have plans to redo my shower fizzes next year, and just want, I don't know, I just want something a little bit different. I'm going to have some new smells and that sort of stuff. So I just thought I'd use some of the other people's, get a sense for different smells. see what really works. This is Essential Blue Gum. So it'll have the, it smells like it's got something else in it too. Smells absolutely amazing. Really, really nice. So that's the blue gum one. I was really keen to try this one. This was clementine, and then I've also got a lavender one as well. And then as a little bonus, she also sent me this cute little plate. She does a lot of this sort of stonework, so you'll probably see this starting to appear in a few of my photograph things. I told her I'd use it as a prop in my photographs. So that was my order from Nelson. Now it has got quite late and hubby is now home, so he's just gone off to get changed. I'm going to cook us some dinner because I've not eaten yet, and then I will show you the other parcel that I've got later on this week, but for now I'm going to get this lot cleared up, and then we will be down the shop tomorrow, and we're going to get started on this super busy week that I have got planned. Morning. As you can see, we're down the shop. I have just opened up, I've picked all the orders, about to start wrapping them. I have got a problem with one of the orders, and it all comes from me just basically switching off for a week. I'm actually out of stock on an awful lot of things, or I'm so low that if people are ordering more than one, I can't fulfill the orders right this second like I usually do. I usually try and get orders out the same day that they are placed when I'm in the shop. But on occasion, if I haven't got an item, I'll have to make it and probably ship it out the next day, and that's what's happened with one of my orders for Christina. She's ordered 2 of the dishwashing soaps that I do, and I've only actually got 1. So once I've got these orders packed, I'm going to get on to making the dishwasher soap. I have actually already emailed her to tell her that there will be a slight delay getting them out, but we will still get it out tomorrow, so that's going to be fine. Hubby and I had such a lovely morning today. Very emotional morning, but it was something we needed to do. Where we are in the Redlands, it is there are some pretty strict rules. No matter where you are, there are actually some pretty strict rules when it comes to the burial of animals. And with the block of land that we're on, we actually can't meet those strict rulings that they have, because our ground is full of shale, clay, rocks and everything else, and we actually just can't dig down deep enough to comply with the rules and regulations. So for both Rolly and Lucy, we've used this awesome company called Pets in Peace, which are a pet crematorium, and she was returned to us last week. I think it was last week. I don't know, time is just, I can't keep up with it anymore. It might have been the week before actually. But since she was returned to us, there hasn't been a time where both Matt and I have had a morning off together. And if we have had that morning off together, we've either had something else which, as bad as it sounds, was actually a bit more pressing and urgent to do. So we didn't want to rush anything, or it's been a lousy morning, like it's been raining, and Lucy didn't like rain. It was icky. She didn't like rain, so we weren't going to take her out in the rain. But this morning, it's hubby's day off. We were both up. It was an absolutely glorious day. So we decided to go and take Lucy's remains down to her favourite bushwalk, and we did that this morning. It was absolutely beautiful. I came back a mess, as was to be expected, but I'm glad we went and did that together today. And it's just behind where our house is, so we can always go for. I have been trying to go for walks in the morning. It is very, well, you couldn't see me then. It is very, very difficult. I've walked a dog for the last 16 years, so it's very, very hard to go for a walk by myself. But it was nice to go out there this morning, especially with hubby. So it was a really emotional start today, but when we actually got back home, I made us some breakfast. We had some coffee and some fruit bread, and we sat out on the back deck and we discussed a few things that we would like to do around the house and some of our plans for the future. And then I got on to doing a little bit of work. So I started editing a video, which I'll actually upload tonight. Talking of uploading videos, if you caught the actual last vlog that I did, I spoke about how we were getting new internet and that it was meant to be a lot faster. Oh, it's been a dream, an absolute dream. A 15-minute video now takes me about 7 minutes to upload onto YouTube. It is usually, by the time I finish writing the description and filling in all the other bits and pieces that have to be done along the way, by the time I click OK, the video's uploaded in standard definition. It has been fantastic. It really, really has. So I'm going to upload the video tonight. And then, what am I doing here? So I did a bit of that this morning, and then I did something really, really silly. Ever since I started my Shopify store, I've always wanted one of those Shopify counters. But when I first had my store, they were only available in the US and Canada. Let's grab another order to pack while I am chatting to you. So they're only available in the US and Canada, and then by the time that they actually were available to the rest of the world, they were selling out so quick that I kept missing out on getting one. And then by the time I was able to get one, I actually really couldn't afford to get one because the exchange rate was so bad. So I kind of put it off and put it off. And then last month, I got a notification to say that they were back in stock, because quite often these counters aren't in stock for very long, so you've got to be quick. And I thought, right, I'm going to buy one with my Patreon money when it comes through. And my Patreon money did not get spent on a counter. It got spent on veterinary bills, crematorium bills. It got spent on Lucy, and so that's where all that Patreon money went for me last month. And I thought, okay, I'll get it this month. And I got a notification overnight saying that there weren't many left, and I do pretty much trust that there aren't many left, because I do know that they sell out fast. So I got this notification last night to say that they were almost sold out. I'm thinking, oh, it's still 2 weeks before I actually take the money out of my Patreon, because I don't take it out until I've actually done everything I'm meant to do for the month, and then I take my payment. And I thought, oh, I'm going to miss out on it again. And I just thought, do you know what, sod it. I have wanted one for the last 3 years. I've missed out every time. I'll just blow it, order it. So that's what I did this morning. I ordered myself the Shopify counter, so hopefully it will be here for the next vlog that we do. And in fact, it will probably already be set up, hopefully, and counting those orders away. So hopefully I'll get that in a couple of weeks' time. So I did order myself one of those, and now we're down the shop, and I'm in a little bit of a pickle. One of these orders I have actually just messaged Christina to let her know. One of the orders, it's got 2 of my solid dish soaps, and I've only got 1 on the shelf. And I've messaged her to say I'm going to make some today so I can get her order out tomorrow. Normally I try to get orders out when I'm in the shop on the day that I get them. But occasionally, if I'm low on stock, I do have to push it out to the next day, but I always email people to let them know. I've actually got quite a number of things on the shelf that is out of stock, and we're going to be busy this week restocking the shelves. As I said in the earlier introduction area, I think I said it. I basically turned off for a week. I came in here, I had rubbish sitting all on these counters. Well, not rubbish, just boxes of stuff that needed to be put away. I didn't make anything. It really got quite bad in here, and I'm still trying to catch up. So like, I did just bring that bag down with me today, but I've got all these soaps sitting on here that should have been wrapped up 2 weeks ago. I'm going to try and get them done this week. I bought down the new display stuff I'm going to be using, and my coconut oil, but all this has just been sitting here, and a lot of the space on my shelf is also pretty empty. As we come out the back, I know it's a bit dark down here, but I've had all these boxes and stuff sitting in here, and then this is my kitchen area. I can't even make anything in the back here. I've just kind of started just leaving things wherever. I can't even get to my trolley. Look at this mess. So this is something else I'm going to have to try and clean up this week just to get it in a bit more order, because I cannot work like this. This is not how my brain works. I have to get this cleaned up. So yeah, that's another task, but somehow I need to actually get into all of that and find out all the ingredients to make this solid dish soap so we can get that going. But I think after this morning, after laying Lucy to rest, my head is just so much clearer. So I'm really looking forward to actually getting everything nice and clean, ready to go this week, and hopefully we won't have any more orders. Look at that scratch on my nose from my gardening. Hopefully we won't have any more orders that are delayed, and I'll actually start to make this look like a shop and not like some dumping ground that it currently looks like. It's very, very embarrassing what this looks like at the moment. But I can't be too harsh on myself, because I know why it's got to this stage, and I just have to work through it. So that's what we're going to do this week. I'm going to finish packing the orders that I can, and then we're going to get on to making the solid dish soap, and then I have heaps of stuff to make. We've got to make some facial gel. I actually had to remove the sign because so many people wanted it and it was gone, so I've got to make some more of that. Got to make some of my gentle foaming face scrub. You can see we're out of some of our hand creams as well. There is so much stuff I'm just out of. I actually do have some of these as a backup. I'm also missing a refill for my foot scrub. There is just so much missing on the shelf. I can't believe that I've got myself into this sort of situation, but it's a lesson learned. And I think I really did need to give myself that time off as well. But that's enough of that. Let's get on to making and creating and seeing what else that I actually do this week. Let's go. so this is really temporary, and I mean temporary. It's only going to be for today because I've just received notification that the new display items are on their way. I've got some clear acrylic containers coming that I'm going to put all my lip balms into, but for now we're just going to leave them in the cardboard containers. I just don't think these look as nice. They're not exactly the best quality, so I've been looking for new ideas, and I saw this picture and I absolutely fell in love with it, so I've decided to do it myself. I've ordered the containers, and as I said, they're going to arrive today. Now, as I was putting this on here, I forgot that when I made my clip balm holder, I had put some supportive beams so that it would actually sit up properly. I'm not the best at woodwork, so I just do things hoping that it's going to work, and I forgot I had that beam in the middle, so I've had to take out the supports that were on the back too, but they're really not going to need them. But what I do need to do, I've had to push my clip balm holder quite a way back, and it's not as stable as I want it to be. So tomorrow I'm going to bring in the drill, and I'm actually going to screw it onto the wooden top of this display, and then hopefully it's all going to come together. Now, with the larger steps that I had on here, I've moved them onto my Christmas display. Get out the way of the air conditioner. Moved them onto my Christmas display, so it gives me a bit more of a step up, and also makes it look, well, people can actually see what's on the display there. So I'm really happy with all those changes, and it's just cleared things up a little bit so we can get started on a few other things. Okay, so as we come into the back, you can see I've got my solid dish soap that is slowly starting to melt down. This is one of the recipes I now have for sale over on the Patreon page. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. We'll be able to get rid of those lip balms tomorrow. That is a new range of vegan lip balms that I have bought out, so looking forward to getting them on the shelf. They have been an absolute mission to get ready. Over here, you can see we've still got a big mess. I bought myself some new cleaning cloths on the weekend, so I need to go and find out all the old ones, and I'm just going to throw them out. They are so disgustingly grotty. I just had to get rid of them, so I'm going to go put all these away. These are my Christmas labels. I decided to have a little bit of fun, and I've got about 5 different designs, so people are getting different ones in their parcels, but they're all just little cheeky comments about Christmas, like, "Dear Santa, just leave your credit card under the tree." Wouldn't we all like that? So they're my little Christmas labels, and as you saw, we're now wrapping all of our parcels in Christmas paper. So it's about 11 o'clock. It's getting really warm in here, so I'm thinking I'm going to go and get my sign. I'm going to swap it around so it doesn't say that it's hot in here, that it's cool in here. I'm going to pop that outside, and I think I'm going to put my air conditioner on. I actually had to have it repaired last week, which I'm really dirty about. The landlord has basically breached the contract, and there's very little I can do about it because I just don't have the money to go and get a lawyer to fight an $800 bill. Part of the agreement is that I need to get it serviced every 6 months, and any major faults they will repair. The landlord is responsible for. Well, the PCB panel went, which is part of the compressor on top of the roof. It hasn't gone because of animals or anything like that. It's just general wear and tear, and it's a major component of an air conditioner. And they said that first of all I was going to have to do it, and I said, you know, things are pretty tough. My rent's gone up. You know, we're state of the economy. We just lost a dog and all this sort of stuff. And then they said, oh, they've agreed to pay 50%. And I wrote back and I said, this isn't fair. You know, this is a major part of the air conditioner. I've kept up my end of the agreement and you guys haven't. And all I got back was we know how you feel. So it's like, oh, this is just ridiculous. So it was going to cost over $1,000 to employ a lawyer to have them up on that breach of contract. So I just agreed to pay 50% of it. But seeing as I've done that, I'm going to get that air conditioner on and get it cooled down in here because we're getting pretty warm. Okay, so this is now ready for potting up, and this is one of the very few ingredients I will actually pot up while it is still warm, and that's because once this actually starts to get cool, it really hardens up, and then it's just too difficult to actually pot up. And normally what I do when I'm potting things up is I would have my main batch sitting on the scale, and if I'm taking out, say, 100 grams, I'd do 100, 200, 300 and fill up my containers that way. But as as I started doing it, I suddenly realized this is one of those products where things actually stick to the spoon a lot. So that first container that I had pulled out enough to fill it, when I actually put that on the scales, I was like 6 grams short. So I thought, oh, I better actually do this properly, where I'm actually weighing each container. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this is one of the recipes that I now have available for sale over on Patreon. They have been working really hard to bring out some new features, which have not only benefited the current Patreons I have, but they're also benefiting anyone who actually doesn't want that monthly expense of joining Patreon, or maybe they're just after one particular recipe but don't want to join the vault level where all of the recipes are kept. And one of the those features that they've brought out is a shop, and it's basically a place where creators can sell any of their digital products. So it could be videos, recipes, anything that's digital, creators can put in there. And I've been really making use of this. I have been going through a lot of my old formulas and making them into files that are probably a little bit more sellable, so you get things like why I've used certain ingredients, alternatives, and all that sort of thing in them. And I have slowly been adding more and more of the past recipes into this shop feature, and this solid dish soap is actually one of those. If you're interested in taking a look, I'll leave a link down below to my shop page over on Patreon. I'm constantly adding new recipes in there. At the moment, I'm uploading at least 2 every month, which will be the current recipe that I'm releasing, as well as one of the past recipes as well. So this month I actually released a vegan lip balm recipe to my patrons, so that is in the shop. And then I brought out the regular lip balm recipe as well, which I added into the shop. Anyone that actually is a patron on the $5 and $10 levels will be able to go and download it from out of the shop. And then anyone who's actually just interested in buying specific recipes can go and do that as well without having to join Patreon. So it's been such a great little feature. But as I said, I'll leave links down below for anyone that is interested in that. But this is almost filled up. I'm also filling up my little container here as well. I've been using this container for years now. I just constantly refill it. I always get questions about whether or not my metal tins rust, and no, they do not. I've actually got a metal tin at home which I keep refilling, and it hasn't got rust on it either. You need to make sure that you're buying good quality aluminium tins that don't have seams where water can actually sit in them. So if you've got a good quality tin, they won't rust. Anyway, that is that done. I need to clean this space up because I've been using washing soda, which is basically bicarbonate soda, which has been baked, but I don't then like to make anything else after having this one out. It's not dangerous or anything, it's just because I associate it with cleaning. I just don't want it anywhere on my benches. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up. It's getting close to lunchtime, so I might just start doing the prep work. We're going to make some foaming face wash this afternoon, and also the facial gel serum. Alright, so I've just made a batch of my facial gel. Now this stuff sells so super quick. Normally I only make a batch of 10, but this time I decided to actually make a batch of 20 because it's only lasting about less than a month on the shelf before I'm having to remake it. So I thought we'll make 10 this time. It still looks like a relatively small batch, and that's because the tubes themselves are 35 grams, but I have got enough in here to make 20. Now, normally if it's something as small as this, I wouldn't put it into Big Ben, but because this one is actually quite, it's still quite fluid, so it's really hard to actually bottle it up. So to have it into Big Ben just makes it so much easier to get into my tube. So I'm going to get it in there and then we'll get it all tubed up and ready for labeling. Afternoon has really flown by quite quickly. I've had a lot of people coming into the shop as well, which I was really happy about, because having the air conditioning on, need to have the door shut so that we're not putting extra sort of work onto the air conditioner so it doesn't leak and stuff like that. And sometimes when you've got the door shut, it does put people off because they don't know if you're open or not. It doesn't matter that I've got like a trolley load of stock out the front. People still assume that you're closed when the door's shut. So I was a bit worried about shutting it, but lots of people have been coming in. So it's been a really, really good day. And I've managed to get most, in fact, almost everything that's on that board actually done, plus the extra dish soap. So I've got the gentle foaming face scrub all done up, so we'll be able to stock the shelf up. I've got the facial gel serum done. I've even had a bit of a clean up in this back area, so the shop's looking a lot more presentable. Hubby and I are going out this afternoon, so I do want to try and get home on time, so I'm going to try and shut the door about 5 minutes early so that I can head off down to the post office, drop off the parcels that I've got, and then hubby and I will go out, and then I'll be back in tomorrow, and I'm going to try and tackle that back room because that kitchen area is an absolute mess. I can't even cook my lunch in there. There's just no bench space. So I'm going to go get this lot out on the shelf. I'll finish wrapping up the facial gel serum, and then it should be time for me to go home. Hey everyone, it is about lunchtime. I've been pottering around the shop, just doing bits and pieces. I haven't done an awful lot, but what I have done I am really, really happy with. So as you can see, I've redone the lip balm display and I'm really, really happy with it. A couple of little tweaks that I do actually need to do. I want to get myself a piece of wood to screw on the front of here that will actually create a lip, because I'm afraid that kids are going to pull these off and drop them on the ground and they're going to break. Now I know so many of you are going to say, where did you get those containers from? There are links in the description box in all my videos, or most of my recent videos anyway, that will take you to my Amazon store, and that is where I'm getting a lot of these sort of things, and I have listed these in my Amazon store, so you'll be able to find them. But now that I've done this, I can see I really actually need to do some lip balm top-ups, so I have added that on my list of things to do. So like you can see the watermelon's almost gone. They didn't look as empty in those boxes, but now that I've kind of got them thrown in there, they look a little bit empty. I have been hassling Lee, like I always do. She is working on making me some little 3D printed shelves that will hang on the back of these, and we can put the little tester pots, but for now I've just kind of thrown them all in. And you can see all of the black tubes here. These are made with beeswax, and then we've got this series of white tubes here, and these are all vegan friendly, made with rice bran wax and natural flavorings. And this one is my absolute favorite. It is peppermint and lemongrass, and it is just sensational. Really love this watermelon basil as well, and the apple rosemary. As you can see, as with all the rest of my lip balms, we have some rather different flavors, because I don't want the standard chocolate, bubblegum, vanilla, and what everyone else sells. We're going to have really unusual flavors, and that's what actually makes my lip balm so popular in this area. So really happy with how that's come up. I can also get another row of hooks along here and put some more of my little clip balms out, so really pleased. But it did take me about 2 hours to get this fully set up. Now all those plastic bags that those containers came in, I have just put them all in a nice neat pile, because I do have plans for them. They are going to get repurposed. I do try to repurpose a lot of my packaging. Now I have just put the air conditioning on, because it's got really hot, muggy and yucky, so I've just popped that on. So I did actually get some really good news this morning, but before I tell you what that was, yesterday afternoon I was absolutely livid. I ended up with a text message come through from my electricity company, and it said in there, your bill is due in 2 days, please update your meter read. And I was like, I beg your pardon, that's your job, not my job. I pay for the electricity, you hire someone to go around and do the meter reads. But last month my electricity bill was super low. Like, I was absolutely shocked at how low it was, and I looked, I thought, you've estimated it again. Just to give you kind of an idea, I'm looking at about anywhere from $200 in winter per quarter to about $300 in summer per quarter, and the bill came in at just over $100, and I was quite cross, because I thought, well, you know, they've estimated it once again. So I was looking at this text message, and I thought, I'm going to have to go out and do this, because I'm going to get to the point where someone's actually going to get off their backside and come and read the meter, and I'm going to end up with a $500 or $600 electricity bill, because they keep underestimating what I'm using. So I did go outside and I got the meter read, and I put it into the system, and then they sent me a survey. You don't send me surveys when I'm annoyed, and I let rips. And it basically said that I am absolutely disgusted that not only have they increased my electricity rates, they are now not employing someone to come and do the job, and I'm doing that job for them with no discount. That I was absolutely disgusted with them. But after I put that meter read in, it came up with how much my bill was going to be, and it was going to be about $300, which for the end of winter, that is a very high bill, coming from them not coming out to read them. So I was really cross. Anyway, this morning the bill came through, and I opened it up, and it was just over $100 again, and some not nice words came out of my mouth. I mean, most people would be pretty happy to actually have a bill of that size, but it was like, oh my god, they've done it again. They've not given me a proper electricity bill. I'm gonna, you know, when we get into low season after Christmas, I'm not gonna have the money to pay these skyrocketing electricity bills. And I've been really careful with my electricity. I've not been turning the lights on out the back if I'm not out there. I only turn the lights on in here. I was avoiding using the air conditioner, and unfortunately it has actually got quite hot early this year, so I'm having to use it, and I was really worried about it. But when I've opened up this bill, about ready to call them to say, what is your game, I started looking at it, and apparently there's a government relief thing on it. So it was about $160, so it's taken all this money off my bill. It's more than half of what my bill would have been, and I was just absolutely stunned, because In all my years of living here in Australia, which is over 30 years, I have only ever had one government scheme offered to us, and that was one year when all of us in Australia, we were going into, it was when the global financial crisis was on, and to try and help improve spending, our government gave everybody a $600 payment into their accounts, no questions asked. Everyone got it, and the idea was you went and spent it in the economy to try and boost it, and most people did. We put ours together, and we actually bought a new security door for our house, so we did spend ours. But that's been the only government handout I have ever received. Every time there's been any reliefs like that for electricity or anything else, I've never qualified. And this one I didn't even know was going. And so yeah, for my last two bills, I've actually had this government relief package on it. So I went upstairs, I was almost in tears. I was just so happy that finally something has actually been rewarded back to me without me even knowing. So the reason my last bill was so low was because apparently this rebate was on there as well, and then it was on this one. So I don't know how long I've got it for, but it does mean I don't have to worry so much about putting the air conditioning on. It really has helped. So yeah, now I've decided it has got hot here in the shop and we're putting the air on. I'm actually just doing up some of my little boxes. I'm about to box up my sandalwood and clove soap, and I'm just putting the little ingredients list on the back of my boxes, and then we'll get those done up. But I am actually pretty hungry, and I decided that today I'm going to help out next door. I'm going to go and grab some lunch from them, and then I was going to clean up out in the back area, but I really need to get these soaps off the cure rack, so I'm going to do that today, and then possibly tomorrow I will do some cleaning up out the back. I'll probably come in early so I can do it without worrying about people coming in and out the shop. So for now, as I said, I'm going to go grab some lunch, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon packaging up all these soaps that need to be done. I am really starting to believe that I have upset someone big time this year, because every time I seem to get one step forward, I have to take 10 steps back on my way into work. And this is only a little bit, it's all just compounding bigger and bigger and bigger. I was coming into work today and I saw this Boral truck come hurtling down the road, and next thing I know, I heard thud, and I literally ducked. I don't know how I stayed on the road. I literally ducked. And look what they have done. Excuse the absolute dirt on my car, but look at that chip. So the start of my day is a $209 bill, waiting for the windscreen repair people to come out, and hopefully it is fixable and not a whole new windscreen. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes, but I better get in, actually open the shop up and start doing some work, so hopefully make some money to repay for that repair. But at least on a more positive note, this is what I managed to achieve yesterday. I got everything cleaned up, so I am ready to do some creating. But what I do actually need to do today, I keep the light off so I can't see the mess that's in here, but I do actually need to get stuck in here and start putting some of this stuff away so I can actually get to the ingredients so we can create a few new products. So I'm going to get onto that while I wait for the repairman to actually turn up. Just have to stop and share this with you. The last few Amazon boxes I've had have got this great message on it, which is really good to see that they're trying to be a little bit more environmentally friendly. But I think what would actually really help is if they actually use boxes that were the right size for the parcels. This one's not too bad. It's pretty much almost the right size, but it still needs all of this plastic fill in there as well. But just to give you an idea, I had one of these boxes delivered a couple of weeks ago with this little box in it, and it had twice the amount of plastic fill, so it kind of contradicts this whole we're using less material on our boxes. But hey, at least I get the deliveries. They're a good company to actually use, but their shipping techniques always make me laugh. Okay, so I have finally got this area all cleaned up. I'm about to make my lunch. For my birthday last year, hubby bought me one of these microwave toasty sandwich things, and I love it so much, and I was taking it between home and the shops, and my mum actually brought me one to have down the shops. I'm going to have a baked bean toasty, and you can see I have managed to clean up in here. These trolleys always live in here, and my bag is in here just to keep it nice and safe, but it is all nice and clean. And just to prove that I didn't just come and dump it all out the front here, it is still nice and clean. I am just about to get ready to make my outdoor body spray, which I'll do after lunch. But you can see we're finally getting a little bit of semblance of calm in here. I do have a couple of things in here which I need to go and work out a home for those, but otherwise we're all nice and clean. The windscreen man has just finished up with my car as well, and he's done a brilliant job. I was just in here thinking he's going to come in and tell me that this chip isn't repairable, that it's too big or too deep or something. It's just been one of those years. When we get to the 31st of December, normally I don't celebrate New Year's Eve. I'm usually in bed, but I'm telling you, this year I'm staying up and I'm kissing this year goodbye because I've seriously had enough. Really have. But he came in and I went out, and he's done such a brilliant job. I have used the company before to have chips and windscreens replaced, and I'm aware that when they do fill in the chips, it doesn't always hide the original crack where the rock hit, and you do have that little sort of bit that you can see. But he's done such a brilliant job. He said it filled in so easily, which I'm not surprised about because it was really deep, so the liquid would have been able to fill in. But it is all done. If ever you have had chipped windscreens, it's really important to get it fixed as soon as possible, because if you don't, that's when your windscreen can actually crack, and a cracked windscreen is no good. A cracked windscreen could void your car insurance and all that sort of stuff. So it's really important to get chips filled in as soon as you possibly can. And here in Australia, windscreens or O'Brien windscreens, I think they're called these days, I don't know. Everyone changes, but they are really good and really quick at getting out to fix things. And I've used them several times now, and I've never had a problem with them. So really happy that that's all done. I'm going to get this lunch ready, and then this afternoon I am going to get on to making the outdoor body spray. I have some night spray to make, and I do need to I'm actually going to fill up my soaping oil tank. Soaping it's my relaxation, it's the way I calm down, and I've got no oil in my tank to be able to make a soap, so I'm going to get that filled up so this weekend I can make some soaps. But for now, I'm going to get this sandwich in the microwave and toasted. Alright, so I'm just labeling up the outdoor body spray, and I've also got my night spray that we've just made as well. So I just thought I'd share this little thing that I discovered. I've had all of these sort of labels professionally printed so that they're just done, makes things easier, less wear and tear on the printer and that sort of stuff. Nothing changes about them. When I got them done, so I had them in the nice aluminium bottles, and I got the nice clear vinyl labels to go on it. What I didn't kind of anticipate is that they've got the little barcode on the bottom of them, so I can just scan them through my system. But neither of my barcode scanners, and they're not cheap ones, they're mediocre priced ones, neither of them could actually read the barcode through the clear vinyl onto this silver bottle. So I've never been able to scan these. And then I was doing one of my other products in the aluminium bottles the other day, and I just thought I'll put a little white sticker behind the barcode and see if that actually helps to be able to scan them, and it does. So you can see I've just put like that little white sticker. It's actually on the sticky side under there, so it doesn't look like, well, if I tried putting it on top it would cover it up, wouldn't it? So that wouldn't work anyway. But I've just put it underneath, and that has allowed me to be able to scan my my products that I haven't been able to. So when I actually get my labels redone, which will be fairly soon, I'll actually make sure that the barcode has a white background when they print it. So just keep that in mind if you are doing barcodes and are using clear on a silver bottle. They don't work. it's Saturday afternoon. We are back home. I didn't do a lot of filming down at the shop, mainly because I know the vlog is really long, which I know you guys love, but also because it's been a very strange sort of day. I only had one customer actually come into the shop. The rest of them did that whole thing through the window at me and walked off. So I only actually had one person come into the shop, and she had 2 kids, which I think were trying her patience, so she didn't even stay around for long. So I actually didn't make any sales in the shop today. Did get a couple online, so I have been either making the stock for those, or I've wrapped them up ready to go out on Monday. So in terms of sales today, it's been pretty miserable, but we have good days, we have bad days, we just have to roll with all the punches. Luckily Wednesday was actually a very good day, so I'm still all right for the week, but because it was so quiet, I just basically got into making everything that I needed to do to actually get my stock all up to levels that I want. I did finish doing most of the stuff I'd planned to do earlier this week, so as I looked around I found all these other things that need doing. So today I did make my batch of hand cream. I also made a batch of under eye cream. I then have been meaning to top up my body spray for ages, so I got to do that today. I also made some candles. One of the orders I got online, there were actually 2 orders from the same people going in different directions. There were a total of 8 lime, basil and mandarin small candles, and I only had 3 on the shelf, so that was the whole reason I actually decided to make the candles today and get them all kind of stocked up. So I've got all those setting tonight, can label them tomorrow and get those orders all packed up tomorrow. And then I also stocked up all my diffusers. For anyone who has been trying to get diffusers on the website lately, you would have seen a lot of them are out of stock, and that's because the glass bottles that I usually use have been out of stock for months. We're talking 3, 4, maybe even 6 months have been out of stock. And a couple of weeks ago I got a notification to say that they were back, and I managed to score myself 9 boxes because there weren't many back in stock. So I grabbed the 9 that were there and they arrived, and then this morning I actually got another notification to say they were back in stock again, and I managed to I ordered 20 more boxes to come. Real shame though, I've actually had to pay shipping on them because we've actually got one of the candle supply places about 20 minutes down the road, and I go and pick up most of my stuff to save on shipping, but I don't know if any of it's actually going to come up to the Brisbane warehouse, so I've just had to kind of order it and pay postage. But that's all right, because I think the price of the jars have actually calmed down as well, so that's okay. Even with postage, they still work out to be the same price, so I don't have to adjust my pricing at all, which is good. But it did mean, because I had those 9 boxes delivered last week, I actually got everything out today, and I have been making the diffusers. So if you've been trying to get them online, they are now all back in stock, and if any in store as well, they are all completely restocked, ready to go, so you can come and grab them. But what I want to do now, there was one other parcel I said to you, or one other order I'd placed that I wanted to share with you, and I've got it here. And again, I've opened it up because I didn't know when I was going to do the vlog, and I really wanted to have a look in this one. But this one actually came from, I think I've destroyed the sticker too much as well. I don't know if it's going to be able to focus or see. This is from Embody Care, and this is Mel, who runs Embody Care here in Brisbane. And if you think that name sounds a bit familiar, it's because she is one of my patrons, and the last couple of patron design videos are the ones that Mel has suggested. But I wanted to really place an order with her because she put down this one day. Let me see if I can get this one out of here. She put down on, I think it might have been on one of my Patreon posts. It was somewhere she put it. And she said that she'd been really inspired by the little pink and white gnomes I did for my prosperity soap last year, and then I did the gnomes again for my Santa's workshop, and she wanted to give it a go. So she did, and I decided I really wanted one of these soaps so I could have a little gnome for myself. This one is called Sparkling Snowflakes, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And it's actually a fragrance. I know which fragrance she's used because it's one that I really like using for Christmas as well. But look at those curly whirlies in that soap, and that adorable little gnome on the top. But look at those beautiful curly whirlies. But it's such a beautiful fragrance, and I think it actually really does fit this perfectly. Oh, something's going on out in the front. Sounds like someone's got a trailer load of stuff. I'm not sure what they're doing, but they're very noisy. Anyway, so I ordered one of her soaps from there just because I wanted to have the little gnome, but I also put in an order for a couple of other things as well. It was really interesting because one of the things when I got the soap, let's grab this other one out. This one sounded really nice. It's called Ray of Sunshine. And when I was looking at this wrap, I was trying to work out a little bit more about what it was, because it looks like shrink wrap, but it's got a frosted look. And this is one of those, from what I've read, there's this No More Plastic website that we've got here in Australia, and they do sell a shrink wrap bags. So for any Aussies, I've not personally used them, but now I have actually seen them. I know a lot of the Aussies say that they can't afford to get in the national shrink wrap from the US and the biodegradable film that they sell. Oh my goodness, it's noisy this afternoon. I don't know if you could hear that motorbike. But anyhow, if you can't afford to go and get the national shrink wrap machine and the bioethylene film that you can get with it, this is a good alternative, this nomoreplasticpackaging.com.au, and they do have these shrink wrap bags, and this is the first time I've actually seen them in use. Someone's hooning up and down the road. Why not? I think they've disappeared. We get a lot of motorbikes hoon up and down that road. It's so annoying. But yeah, we've also got this one, which was Ray of Sunshine. It just sounded absolutely, oh, beautiful. And it is. And let's take it out of its little wrapper. So we got this little Ray of Sunshine as well. And the other thing that kind of got me with this is because I put little rays of sunshine in all my soaps, in all my orders. So I just wanted a little soap for myself. And then I also wanted this room spray. It sounds absolutely amazing. It's orange patchouli and a ylang ylang, and they're the three things I love together. So I actually ordered one of these. Oh, and it's got white grapefruit in it as well. And it smells really, oh, really good. I really like that. Husband's not a fan, but tough. He should have bought it. I actually like ylang ylang and my husband doesn't, so oh well, I like it. She's also included a couple of little samples for me. We've got a turmeric soap sample and an aloe and avocado, which I actually think I almost bought that one. There was another green one on there I almost bought, but she's included those little samples. And she's also included a little bath bomb for me. So I actually think I might use that tonight. It's been a long day. So I actually might treat myself to the little bath bomb tonight. But what I'm going to go do for now, hubby is at work until about 7 o'clock tonight. So he'll be home about 7:30. I'm going to go start editing a little bit of the video, and then I'll be back in the shop tomorrow for Sunday. We'll do some of that packaging up of bits of the hand cream and the under eye cream, and hopefully we'll have a busier day because it is market day. I think it was quiet though because there is a major event going on in the area. It's a 3-week event, so I'm hoping it's not going to hurt us too much. It's called Wynnum Fringe, and there's like lots of free events and everything going on. It's a few suburbs across, but I think that's where a lot of people were today because it is a beautiful day. But hopefully they'll all be down to Cleveland tomorrow, and we'll have a little bit more to do. So I'm going to go start editing, and I'll see you tomorrow in the shop. Good morning. It's about half an hour before I have to open up. I am just gathering up all the ingredients I need to make the shampoo bars that I need to restock. My plan is to get home this afternoon and get into my shed and make these shampoo bars. And then I also need to make some relaxing shower fizzers as well, because I've only got about 10 of those left, so I need to stock that up. So I've just gathered up all the ingredients I'm going to need. I'm going to take those home. Hopefully I can do it this afternoon, because then all I actually need to do on my days off is I need to do all my Canva posts and I need to go visit the candle supply place to go and pick up one of the orders I was able to do for a pickup. So that is basically all I need to do on my days off. So it's going to give me the rest of the time to do whatever I want. And I've got a few other things planned that I need to actually do. I actually want to get into my veggie garden, dig it all up and restart it again. It's got a little bit untidy, and I think most of the stuff growing in there at the moment are weeds and not edible. So I want to go and get that fixed this weekend. So we've got all that done. Now hopefully it's going to be a busier day today. As I mentioned, that Wynnum Fringe is on. It's like, for those that don't know, because a lot of the major capitals around Australia do fringe events. They're kind of like a alternative art event. So you get I know there's a lot of burlesque performances going on down there. There's a lot of art classes. There's all sorts of things actually happening. A lot of the more indie music and that sort of thing. So it's a massive event that they've got going for 3 weeks, and I'm pretty sure that's where a lot of the customers went yesterday, because it's all free. Well, most of it's free events. There's some paid for events as well. So hopefully it's not going to affect us for the entire 3 weeks, because we're at our busiest time of year, and for a major event to take that amount of business away, that's pretty scary. But there was also another big event on yesterday, which is also on again today as well. There's a Robbie Williams concert going on around at the winery just around the corner from us. They do a lot more in big events than they do in terms of being a winery from what I see. So Robbie Williams was singing there yesterday afternoon. Apparently he's singing there again this afternoon. They reckon on the news that there was going to be 30,000 people, which is actually quite a scary number, because that's about half the size of one of our major stadiums in the capital city. And this is in a little country area. So 30,000 people, that's pretty scary to think what that's doing to our wildlife, what it's doing to our roads and all that sort of stuff. And the fact that it does take away customers from out of the shopping precinct areas as well. So 2 big events to compete with this weekend. So hopefully today's going to be good. I'm going to be positive about it. I've at least got all of this together. So that's ready to go home. Today I am going to pot up the under eye cream. I also have the hand cream here. And the only thing I actually didn't complete on the board this week was to top up the lip balms. And one of the reasons I did put it off is over on my Fair wholesale account, I do have some of the lip balms available for wholesale purchase. And I'm actually thinking that I'm going to add a couple of other flavors. So I was deciding which ones to add, because then that will determine how many I'm going to make in this sort of batch. And I think I'm going to sit down and work that out today, so that on Wednesday I'll be making the lip balms then. So I'm going to get this little bit of the area cleaned up, then we'll get the doors open and we'll see what comes today. Okay, so I am back home and about to start getting into making the shampoo bars and shower fizzers. Now I've always made them at home, mainly because when I first moved into the shop we had both the cafe next door and also the tattoo parlour, and it was more so for the tattoo parlour than the cafe next door. I didn't want the compressor going off and startling any of the artists that people ended up with wonky lines in their tattoos. I didn't want to be responsible for that, so I've always made the shampoo bars and shower fizzers at home. And now, although the tattoo parlour has gone, I don't have room in the shop to actually store the compressor. I have thought about taking it down there and just doing things after hours, but I've just got nowhere to store it. I'd be constantly falling over the compressor, so I still actually make the shower fizzers and shampoo bars here at home. So I'm going to get stuck into doing that. Now, before I do sign off, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of you who have watched this. I am always very appreciative of anyone who does watch my videos, leaves comments, interacts with me, does anything on social media, contacts me personally and things like that. Always so appreciative of it, and absolutely amazed at how many of you are out there supporting me. But I'm especially grateful with this vlog, this one in particular. I really needed to do this vlog, and I didn't realize how much I needed to do it until I actually did it. It's been a pretty tough year. There's been a lot happening, not only with my own health. It's been, many of you know, over a year ago I said I was finally getting help with my health, and it has, even though the help is still there, it is still been a constant battle, a absolute battle. And I've not spoken a lot about it because it just sounds like a broken record. I keep complaining to husband and it sounds like a broken record, but it is real, and it's very stressful as well. But I am grateful that I am still getting that help with my health, because health wise I feel fantastic. I've never felt this good in my whole life, but it is an absolute struggle to keep myself at this stage, because the medication that I actually need is not available. That probably says a lot to a lot of people, and I'm actually on an alternative medicine which is 3 times the cost and not nearly as effective, and it's a constant mental battle to deal with it. There's also a lot of other things that have been happening throughout the year. And these last 3 or 4 weeks have they've really been the straw that broke the camel's back. And as I said at the beginning of the vlog, my world just stopped. I just turned off. I just said, what's the point? I can't be bothered. Every time I'm taking 1 step forward, I'm getting knocked back 5 or 6 steps. And I really did think, well, I'll just make it through until the end of my lease, and that's the end of that. I give up. But I didn't even know if I could do that, because it really has been one thing after another. And it doesn't have to be major things. It can be small things, like getting a chip in the windscreen. That's not a major thing. That is actually quite a little thing, but with everything else that's going on, it seems major. And then I was just putting my hair up in the bathroom, redoing it, using the same clip that I'd had in my hair all day, and as I put it in, the clip just exploded on me, and I just stood there thinking, what have I done that has annoyed someone? I'm sorry, like, I don't know. So there might only be little things, but they're all slowly building up. And it actually got to the point where I just thought, you know what, I just can't be bothered with any of this. I'm just going to do what I have to do, get through this, and see what happens. So I've been putting off doing I was going to put off doing the vlog again this month as well. And while I was sitting in the garden earlier this week, I just thought, no, go and get the camera, go and do it. If you don't do it, you're never going to do them again. So that's why I started doing it. And up until that point, there was so much stock missing from off my shelves. I had no backup stock in any of my drawers for orders. The shop was an absolute mess. It really wasn't me that was in that shop anymore. I wasn't hating what I was doing. I was just hating the pressures that were coming in from all sides. And I just thought, you know, let's get this done. So kind of having the camera there this week has really helped give me purpose. It has reset my mind. It wasn't so much about having footage for you guys to watch, but having that purpose of having to make a video and having to have content to put in that video really got my bum into gear, and I've managed to get the shop completely cleaned up so that when I go back in on Wednesday, it's actually clean. I can access all the benches that are in the shop. So that's been good, because having a clean space around me really helps my mind. When it's messy, my mind is messy and nothing works. So to have the shop clean has really helped. We have got so much work done this week that once I get these shampoo bars done and the shower fizzers, I am completely stocked up, and the only thing I have to do are the lip balms. So I have managed to get myself to the point where I should be for this time of year. So hopefully next week, when, as tradition shows from my previous years, next week should be the real start of that Christmas shopping season. I am fully stocked and I am ready to go, and that is because of you guys. You guys want these vlogs, you want these ridiculously long videos, and if it wasn't for you guys wanting them, I don't know if I would have got half the stuff done this week that I have actually got done. So thank you so much for coming along with me, for putting up with my tears and my emotional rants and everything else. It definitely has been a pretty emotional vlog, that's for sure, but hopefully when we do the one in December, it will be full of a lot more Christmas cheer and everything else like that. So thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me this week, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you then. Bye.